morning. Can everybody hear me? I feel fine. I'm a little tired, but it takes time. I'm fine though. It is as I have said before. It takes tragedy to make people move, to make them come away from what they have always known. It has always been so. It will always be so. It was so in the time of the crucifixion and resurrection. Is the same thing. What happened the Saturday before the heart attack, I received several calls from New York inquiring as to my death. The Sunday morning, there were several calls from New York inquiring as to my death. It is as I've said before, it happens in the dream state first, in order to have a large effect upon those involved in process, to have a lasting effect throughout time. Those people received it because they called. I know because they reacted. My response to them was, no, I will only be gone 1 week and a half. That was a Sunday. It happened on a Sunday evening. 1 week and a half later, I was out of the hospital. All was done. It was, in effect, my final passage. Standing in the neither world, and to my right, a circle of light calling me back to life. And to my left, the darkness, the unknown, the forever, straining at me to come. Watching it, feeling the tug from two sides, and then the absolute realization that the call to death was within me, as well as the call to life was within me. There was no life, no death. There is only me. So, for us all, it was a tremendous end and a tremendous beginning for each and every person. Therefore, the effect upon you. It was something that happened out of time and space. There were those, and I appreciate those prayers, who said, don't leave. I appreciate the prayers, I appreciate the thought. It's just that it was not their choice to make. It was only my choice to make. I chose to spend a little more time with you because I like you. Nothing other than that. It was my choice. There is no death. There is no life. I was the only one within this structure who could perform the task that needed to be performed. It could not have been you. You would have panicked. Fucked up the whole thing. It was truly a time of great magic. Then it had to be left. Someone would say, why me? Because it had to be left to the most powerful magician, the most powerful sorcerer, to that one who would stand and not be swayed by the pull of life or death either way, but to stand and see that eternal I am. The reaffirmation of no life, no death, no God but me. Not God, but godliness. But to see the forces and the power for what it is they really are. And in your time you will stand and you will see there is only you. In your time. In your time when you have become strong enough by your own faith, by your own willingness to stand alone and accept that which is true. Only when you have become strong enough to not be the warmonger and become the peacemaker. That is your strength. When you have become the peacemaker, she stops being the enemy. He stops being the enemy. They stop being the enemy. And I no longer have need to create war, but to accept peace. When you have the strength to just let it all go, then you will see. Then it will be your turn to stand in infinity and affect great numbers of people. Not because you are special, but only because you're the one. It is like saying, why do I wake up in my body every morning? Because you're the one. All this is to answer your question as to why. It was an act of great magic. great power. That is all. No big deal. If you will notice, it was the same person laying there. The same person. Didn't matter what I was hooked up to. The dirty jokes were the same. The laughter. The screwing with your mind. It is to say, we come to a point of strength. We come to a point of magic. And the point of strength and of magic is, I am that which I am. It does not matter what swirls around the eye of the hurricane. All that matters is that I am the center. I am the calm. I am the peace. It is not me. It is what it is. And it swirls about, and so what? So what? So what? There were many points made. Many points made. You realize that I don't know how many people were there, but you came in and out of intensive care and in and out of my room as if it were a cafeteria line. No one stopped you. You were just walking in and out. Right after the surgery, I hear something and I open my eyes. This is right after it. They just finished bringing me into the room. I open my eyes and I turn around and Kathy's standing there. Later. Talked to her later and said, "How did you get in?" She said, "I just walked in." He said, I walked up to the desk and said, "Where is it?" And they said, "In there." And I walked in. Moments of great power. You know how many people were there? It's an incredible number of people. The people from New York came. There were people from everywhere. They said only family. Here was my sister. They didn't question. I said, "Wow, you really have an interesting family." I said, "Yes." You see, there was great power. There was great magic happening. Great magic. People who were in bad shape survived that day. They survived. There was great magic happening. But if you became too involved in your own personal thing, you missed the magic. You missed the power. You missed the great moment. But that is what happens when we become focused in that which is personal to ourselves. That is why we keep missing the boat. Because grains of sand become Mount Everest. and we miss the whole world. We miss the great magic, the great moments. The doctors are scratching their head. They're saying, you can do anything you want. You're not a heart patient. You have no damage to your heart. How can this be? I don't know. 3 arteries totally clogged. When they did the angiogram, the dye couldn't even get through. The 4th one, only 1/3 open. No damage to the heart. I am not a heart patient. I don't have blue lips. I don't have to take nitroglycerin. I don't have to do all this crap. I can walk stairs. I can eat anything I want. Moment or time of great magic, great power. How can this be? Fortunately, human beings must see and act for themselves. Fortunately, we must see the magic for ourselves. And the only way is to stop standing so close to pettiness. There were great examples. I was hooked to more crap than I've ever seen in my life. I looked around and I thought, holy shit. Man, if lightning strikes this place, I'm in trouble. I got a problem. But I never stopped teaching. I never stopped fulfilling my mission. I never stopped doing what I am here to do. There's a lesson. Not because it was me. That's not important. I am not important. What is important is the message, the law. I had every reason in the world to say, well, whoa, hold it. I'm not going to teach right now. Okay? If there is reason to say that. But it is as I have said. What I have said is real. There is no excuse. You have to do what you're supposed to do without excuse. Let's say there were 24 things hooked into this side. A bunch hooked into here. Things, tubes coming out of my stomach. Tubes coming out of my penis. Things hooked up to my lungs going too goddamn slow. I roll over and give her an example of the proper attitude. I winked and I smiled. couldn't say anything because I had all this crap jammed down my throat. The example of its attitude, it's all in how you perceive it. I could tell I was getting better when I started getting pissed off. Get this goddamn thing out of my lungs, let me breathe for me, get this shit away from me. Uh-oh, I started to feel better now. I'm cussing. The point is, the secrets were being told. The secret is, there is no secret. The secret is to hold your attention and do what it is you are supposed to do. The secret is, 2 days later I was walking. The next day I walked out of the room, down the hall. The next day out of the room, down the hall and out the door into the waiting room. 1 week later I was gone. 1 week. 1 week I was gone. Think about it. You see the beginning of my scar here? And the end of it here. You see? 1 week. There is a point. So what? So what? We let grains of sand become mountains and stop us. Runs all the way. So what? Is that an excuse? That's the point. To perform magic, to perform the miracles that you desire within your own heart, you must be able to hold your concentration. He said, she said, she did, he did, ooh, blah, blah, ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah. What kind of magician? That is why me. See, that is why me. All that to answer your question. More? More questions? That had to do with your being here in this time. So it does tie. It ties only in the line across time and space for us all to follow, to come to this point in this time, for the fulfillment of what happened Thursday before Thursday. That is the fulfillment. But that is the only tie. The original story was nothing more than the death of all of you at a time when we worked very diligently together. What that story represented was a great conflict in that time, and that we all had to leave and to take. It It was my responsibility in that time to protect the male and the female of you. Not males and females as Noah is thought of on the ark. The dust was the death of the physical death, and to be tossed into the river of life. And tossed into the river of life, the flow of life that brought us that brought us from that time to this time to build for the prophecy, for the promise to be fulfilled in this time. Now everything relates to that. Everything in this time relates to that time. This is the fulfillment. Part of that is personal to me, of the returning to the same point again, of which I will do again. And the next time, with free will. There will be no drag, there will be no question. Yes. Mark.
You said that in this, all things are symbols of something else. And when you symbolize the world at this point, is truth or love, and the scales are balanced more towards negativity and towards love as a whole of all the people on this planet, then there will be no more reason for you to be here. Or the choice not to be here anymore will be the choice you made.
The choice is done. It is over in certain terms. The agreement to teach in this time as a result of my own awakening some years ago, to be with you was a choice, but it was a choice in the form of test of my own being. That came to an end the Thursday before. I'm here now simply because I like you. Not because of any covenant or any commitment. I'm here talking to you this day because I like you. Because I want to be here. It's that simple. That ended standing in the nether worlds. It was over. I am released from the commitment. Again, it is symbolic of your commitment, or what commitment is. You see, that commitment was across thousands of years, across time. It is simply, my actions are simply the symbolic commitments to show what real commitment is. Real commitment is without waiver. It's just, this is it. I don't give a damn what happened. I don't give a damn if the boat sinks. I don't care if the boat sinks, the ocean sinks, everything sinks. This is it. This is the way it must be. It is to understand, it is for you, it is for the world to understand that absolute is absolute. You see, not partial commitment. Well, I'm committed to this. except when it gets to this point. I'm committed to a non-fat diet except when it comes to chocolate cake. That's just an example, you see. It is about love. It is about, yes, it is the balance of love, but my presence is symbolic of process, of what you must go through, and the degree to which you must commit yourself to certain law, certain rules. You know, I know that in certain ways that you see me only as you see yourselves. Just another guy. Well, that's true, but I'm afraid it's not true. I'm afraid it's not true. I am symbolic of man's cry for help. For help. That is why I exist. And that I am father, lover, brother, friend is only secondary. It's secondary. It is like the color of my skin. It is secondary to my humanity. As the color of yours is only secondary to your humanity. Or your sex is only secondary to your humanity. It could be or it could not be. It does not matter. You would still have the same intelligence. You would still have the native being of yourself that is primary to being. So what is primary about this being is the example of process, the example of truth. And we seek to bring about the balance. It's simply to keep us from killing ourselves as we desire. As we desire to keep from killing ourselves. And as man holds this desire within its own being, it is always answered by the presence of someone. It is always answered by that presence, and that someone must come from somewhere. Must be somebody's child. We don't just drop out of the womb of the universe, poop. When in fact we do drop from the womb of the universe, because the womb of the universe is some woman's womb. We are someone's child. Someone knows us always. And always someone denies us. Always. Because that's just so-and-so. We must come from somewhere and we must be somewhere. But that does not stop our essence. This is the symbol. This is the symbolic meaning. My total and absolute recognition, there is no death, there is no life, has great impact for all of you. You must find it, you must recognize it within your own being.
To recognize what the ultimate commitment is that something that we each have to come to in our own individual way, or is it just something because you if there's an ultimate commitment to understanding, to being, to learn.
The ultimate commitment is all to the same thing. It is simply to say the ultimate commitment is not about a particular thing, but about a particular manner of doing. That is, when I have decided to become peaceful, I will allow nothing to disturb me. I will take everything that comes up inside of me and look at it and understand its nature within myself. That's absolute. That doesn't mean that I will allow one thing to come up and now I say, oh, well, no, this is just going too far. That's not absolute commitment. You see, absolute commitment is I don't care. And the example, that's why I mentioned the machines. I mentioned this, that, the other. I made certain statements that some people misunderstood. I made certain statements about life and death, about humane things that were misunderstood. Some people thought I complained. I simply made a statement of, I will die before they put this in me again. It was not a complaint, it was a point to which our sciences have gone that have become total and absolutely inhuman. It has ceased to become a part of the healing effort and become a part of torture. And believe me, I know what torture means. My hookup during Vietnam was with the CIA. Believe me, we know what torture is. They taught me ways. We have ways to make you talk. Wasn't bullshitting. I know torture. And I was simply saying, we must find loving technologies. To suffocate a human being for 8, 10, 12 hours is not loving and humane. And that is what they did. They suffocated me from 1 o'clock until 11 the next day. 10 straight hours of torture. So it was not a complaint, it was simply a statement of saying, this is not loving, folks. Whoa, hold the deal. Let's find the guy who invented this and let's put him on it. Guarantee we will find another way to do this. You see, the point was about a loving technology, not about me. And simply saying, never again will they allow something else to breathe for me. I simply will choose to step between the cracks of the world and be gone. That is my choice. That is my choice. They say you will have to live life a little differently. Some say this. I say, what of quality of life? Quality of life is a perception of mine and how I live my life as to whether it has quality or not. Therefore, the decision is mine. You cannot stand outside of a warrior and be a wimp and decide what is quality of life for the warrior. Only the warrior must decide. and I decide, no, there is no life and death. I will simply step between the pages of time and be out of your view. No big deal. But see, this is something I know. It is something you sense, but do not yet know. I know because I've stood there. As you know how you awakened this morning, it is your experience and you know it. In the same sense, to stand between the pages of time or to stand in the neither worlds is my experience. And I know. Therefore, no big deal. The choice is yours. But you must be absolutely committed to that which you choose in order to understand. And absolute commitment is without wavering, without bitching and moaning. Just going. You have decided it, then go. If you decide something else, then go. But go with that which you have decided. That is so. What is right, what is wrong, I don't know. All I know is, when you decide, go. That's all I know. That's right. Which way you go, how the hell should I know? I'm not you. I am not you. If you choose to be the grandest asshole of assholes, the grand master of assholes, who am I to say that you are right or that you are wrong? I can only say that you are right in that you are committed to assholitude. That is all I can say. All I can say is that when you meet me and I meet you, there will be thunder and there will be lightning, and that is the way of the world, and that is okay by me if it's all right by you. If you smite me, I will smite you back, and we will smite each other throughout eternity. We will kick each other. As an old friend of mine from Africa who is now dead used to say, is an old African proverb, all right, it's time to get naked and bite each other's balls now. Then if we do it, as Jonah Muskie would say, throughout eternity, then damn it, let it be done. But I am committed. So you be committed. And it will all go on. The dynamics will continue. I think what we've talked about here is the commitment to being at peace, to bring a balance into the world, to give the world a break, to balance, to be at peace. Because there is another way to make things happen, to happen smoothly, and to work together. There's that way, yes. But you must be totally committed. Can't be committed to bullshit. It's that simple. My life has been a presentation of that principle. You've known me. Some of you have struggled with me to make me change, and I have not changed. You've known me. As they told me, I should have been dead 3 years ago. Yeah, is that right? 3 years ago, I should have been dead. That tell you something? I can afford to be stubborn. You're running around worried about what's going to happen in the next few hours. I should have been dead 3 years ago, and I'm still here. I have no damage. And they finally said, you're going to have to do blah, 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 blah. And I looked at her and said, get out of here. You don't tell me that I'm going to have to behave like that. You talk to me, you find out who I am. You find out what I am about. Doesn't it tell you something that I should have been dead 3 years ago and I'm still here? Doesn't it tell you you're not talking to an idiot? And finally they say, oh, you're not our typical heart patient. Now we can talk. All right. All that to say, to answer your question, what absolute commitment means. Get caught up in the love that entered your heart in those moments of magic. Not your own small petty possessiveness, but that love that happened. Those people who came in from New York sat down, boom, got up, it's done, it's time to go, tried to leave, and the great magic hit them and they could not leave. They left there, but they could not get away from the city of Chicago. And they were all swept away one by one and all nailed to the wall and changed, and then they could leave. And they left. And they call and they go, see, yeah. There's a moment of great magic, a great power. You'd think there was 2 children that I kind of aided into this world. What are they, 13, 14 months old? What are they? 16. Here they are, I look around and here they are on the intensive care ward in my doorway going, ah. There's their mother going, hi, and there's the nursing staff pretending they don't see it. Magic. You have to be 16, these babies. You see? Yes.
I'm just listening to you. And what you're saying is those little things, you can't pass them up because they are things of power.
Yes.
Because you never thought about that 16-month-old baby, but it is now.
There are no little things. That's the key. We make little things and big things. That keeps us from seeing the picture. Oh. Look at her. Look at him. See, there we are, judging and don't know what the hell we're talking about. And we miss the moments of power. We miss those great moments. Because we always know so much. So it's not. It's understanding that there are no small things and no large things. They're just things. Can you, in putting together the puzzle, what did we learn from putting it together? Those small pieces, you miss one and the picture is incomplete. That's why working with that puzzle is important. You miss nothing. I didn't miss anything. There were sequences of things that I have no idea of which sequence things happened in. I remember standing above them, watching them, trying to get into my chest and smiling. the great struggle they had trying to get into the chest. The muscles of the chest wall were so strong they couldn't open the chest. And they had their jack and their jack. Okay, in and out, in and out, in and out. Reality, 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 reality. Things to do, many things that have no direct meaning to you. Many meetings, many conversations, many, many experiences. In and out, in and out, in and out. But I didn't miss anything. I have a problem with the sequence, with the order, but I didn't miss a thing. Not a thing. All that happened was that a great door was held open, point frozen so that you could see the magic. That is all. An act by a sorcerer, a magician if you please, a mystic if you please, Joe Blow if you please. Years and years of manipulation and teaching, years and years of struggling and pointing your head, to come to one moment when, bam, look, 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 look now. I can't hold it open forever. Look, see, understand, now, 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 bam. It is there all the time. Now you will have to look for yourself. That great wonder is there. All you got to do is deal. You got it. I will hold the door for you no longer. Now I'm just here. I have no commitment to you anymore. I have no commitment to it anymore. I'm just hanging out now because I like you. I like you, that's all. That's it. That's it. I like you. You all right with me? You see? And the discovery of no deaths, no life. I could have gone any way I chose, but I looked at the circle. I looked at the circle of light. I've got forever. I can do anything I want in my own time because I have forever. And you all right by me? I like you. See, now I can cuss you out better because I'm not committed to I can just cuss you out because I like you. It's different. It's done. You have witnessed the death and the resurrection. No big thing. No big thing. You've witnessed it again, but if you missed it, that's your problem. You now have to hold the door open yourself. That's the way it goes. Across time, in the river of life. The commitment is complete. I have completed my task. I'm hanging out because I like you. Any other question? But you are never ready. You are never ready. Being ready is an illusion, like death. You can never be prepared for that which you do not know. All you can do is die. When the great force hits you, we go mad simply because we start running around trying to figure out what to do when there's nothing to do except go with the flow. Standing in the nether world, all I did was stand there, and I felt the pull. And I realized the pull was not with you. The pull was not with infinity. The pull was within me. I let it go. And there was no pull. It's only me playing this stupid ass game. Oh, pull. Death pulls me. What death? There is no death. Life pulls me. What life? There is no life. There is only me. I can do whatever the hell I want. Then the great blast of energy is no longer. It's just what is. It only feels that way when you resist it. By trying to put a little cap on a great force. That is the experience. It's in here. It's in me. I can never be ready. I can never be ready for that which I do not know. I can only hang when it happens. I can only hang when it happens and not get all upset. I listened in my hospital room to someone every day. Oh, 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 shut the fuck up, will you? There's sick people in here. You see, it wasn't happening because this person was bullshit. This body was sick, and you know what this body said? Didn't have the strength to say it loud enough to disturb nobody. The force was too great. When you can muster the, oh, in the emergency room, here's a woman going, ow, I can't breathe. You're a damn liar. Takes a lot of air to yell that loud, boy. That's bullshit. You see? See, when the force hits you, you just, whew, man. Ooh, shit. I had been stuck so many times. They come in and say, stick. Stick. Finally, they just put a spigot in. Just come in, the man be gone. There was no place left to stick. And what I'm saying was, when it hits you, stick. I ain't ready for it. I ain't not ready for it. It really ain't no goddamn problem. It really don't mean nothing. Yeah, I feel it. Oh, I'm so sorry. Shut the fuck up. Take your blood and get away from me, Dracula. Unask me, shit. Had wonderful laughs. I met a doctor Marlene had told me about years ago. Dr. Pepper. That's her name. That's her name. Last name Pepper. First name Doctor. Big sign on the chest, Dr. Pepper, and I can go in the midst of my heart attack. Wow, Dr. Pepper. Wait on her to dance across the wall. So I'm a pepper, you're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? You see, it's all in here. It's all up to you, my friends. What would you have it be? You want to make it hard, it's hard. I look at you. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing that? Straining so hard to get it, see, you can't get it by strain. It's right in front of your eyes. It's right in front of your eyes. Don't make no problem, won't be no problem. Don't mean something's gonna change. I wasn't making no problem. Changed very rapidly. Let's get this shit out of me. See, once I got where I could motivate on my own, that Wednesday they came in, said you're off off the intensive care unit. They put me down in another room. Thursday morning, doctor says, you can go home, put on my clothes. I get down, they say, well, you got to wait for the other doctor's approval. I said, he got 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, I gave him 5 more minutes, and I said, that's it. I was headed out the door. I was dressed, ready to go, and she happened to go down the hallway and saw the doctor and said, you better get on there because he's leaving. See, I had changed it myself. Tell him, give me 10 minutes. She said, you better get there now because he's gone. Big and shit. I turned around and he was coming in the door. But see, it was now back under my control. Now, it is me. It's right in front of your eyes. You sad? Why are you making yourself sad? There's nothing to be sad about. You got problems. You making problems. You tired of being an asshole, Bunky? Stop. Just stop. It's right in front of you. It's no great mystery. Just stop. You tired of possessiveness? Stop trying to possess. I see, I hear, I feel. In ways you want to possess me, but see, I belong to everybody and thereby belong to no one. You cannot possess me. I am like smoke. The more you try to possess me, the more I get away from you. And one day you will cry and say, why did you get away? And I'll say, because you kept fucking with me. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me alone. You see what I'm trying to say? I am a God. I belong only to myself. And not even to myself in a possessive manner. What does that say to you? You're tired of possessiveness, and stop trying to possess. People, things, anything. Realize things pass through for you to touch, but not to smother, not to own. It is transitory. Life is transitory. Life is a journey, not a destination. It's okay. The secret is right in front of you. You're miserable? Stop. Key word. Just stop. Thank you. Namaste.